Hey, welcome to the Janktown Podcast, where we discuss the jankier, more casual side of Commander. I'm your host, Will, and I identify as Mono Black, Demir, and Esper. And we're joined by pretty much the Janktown trio of TY and Bob. Hey, TY. How you doing today?
What's up? I'm TY phoning in from Alabama. I'm Green, Golgari, and Timur. And yeah, I'm here for today's discussion on the self-imposed ban list.
All right. Exciting stuff. I can't wait till we show people what we've banned from ourselves. But before we get into that, Bob, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Janktown? This is Bob. I identify as Mono White, Boros, and Mardu. And yeah, excited then to as well to discuss a lot of the self-imposed restrictions as well.
Perfect. So you guys have hinted at it, but maybe before we show our card selections, let's talk about what this topic is. And so today we want to discuss this self-imposed ban lists. So these are ban lists that I know Commander has its own ban list right now, but for us, we have cards that we maybe specifically don't run or don't like to run in our decks, even if we could. Maybe they're just sitting now in our binders collecting dust, and it's just good for street cred when we go around events or LGS, you know.
Make that binder look good.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we have cards, you know. Our decks, you know, I'm not a bad player. I just don't play good cards.
I play Magic too.
Yeah, but so these are these self-imposed ban lists. They're not necessarily cards that we think need to be banned outright. So if players in a pod bring them, cool. I think that's fine. More power to them. But ourselves, we don't like running them anymore. So with that, let's get into these cards. As a group, we have pretty much decided on that we don't like to play cheap fast mana, such as your JLOs, your mana crypts, your mana vaults. We don't like playing hard stacks. Cards like your smokestack, static orb, winter orb, cards like this. Fierce Guardianship made the list as a consensus. Rhystic Study and Cathar's Crusade. So these 5 cards. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, DY.
Sorry, blue players.
Yeah, sorry, blue players.
I mean,
But blue players have it too good for too much, and a lot of it for free.
A lot of it for free. Well, yeah, let's discuss this real quick before we move on to some of these spicier takes on the list. Fast mana, hard stacks. Yeah, how come you guys don't like these? Or at least in your decks?
I don't run the cheap fast mana because I like seeing the curve out of the game. How you go from the 1 to 3 mana plays, and then the mid game plays, and then the late game plays. Kind of just hops to the mid game. That's the only reason why I don't run it.
Yeah, same. I also don't like to run it because you are just so far ahead if you do hit it early. And even if you hit it in the mid game, you just jump straight to late game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's too free for me. Outside of Soul Ring, of course.
Yeah, I think for me it's because of the it gives a lot of the mana positive, and it also paints a very big target on your back since it puts you way ahead of everybody else. And even though Jeweled Lotus is a specific niche, the fact that it can accelerate you bringing out your commander means that your game plan gets its legs under it ahead of everybody else. And
yeah, because I mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's not as fun.
Yeah, because
it's not as fun. Yeah.
Decks are pretty much built around their commanders. If you have it out as early as turn 2 or something along those lines, your 4-drop commander, it's out turn 2. It's such a huge momentum swing for the game. And again, you become either arch enemy or you get hated out super early. So I don't know. It's just a strange play pattern.
Yeah, I also don't like how it's so cost restrictive. Y'all know me and how I play in some of my home decks. And one of my home decks is Belbay, where it's kind of like you're trying to bring the money to the people. You're trying to give everyone the fast mana. Those are the fun games. One of my iconic games is when it's in my play group where it's Belbay on one end, and then you're playing with a guy who has Jolene as well. That's just like everyone gets up to 3-4 mana extra for a turn to do our bidding. So that's like huge. I mean, that's why I don't like the cheap pass mana. How it's also very cost restrictive. So for me and for us budget players,
Right.
to get that feeling of fast mana, yeah, I'm all for it. So that would be for getting everyone on it. I remember we used to brainstorm about having a, you know
Mm.
how it, we used to brainstorm about just having everyone have a mana crypt.
Mana crypt. Auto mana
Yeah,
crypt.
auto mana
Like start
crypt.
the game with a
Turn-in
mana crypt.
crypt. Yeah,
Start the game
everyone
with the
starts
mana
the game
crypt.
with the mana crypt. And what kind of game? Because like when we were playing those games that were beginning like 2 hours, like what if we all just started with a mana crypt and just
Yeah.
let the sparks fly? You know.
This is
Yeah.
smart slide. Yeah.
That turn one cultivate.
I was about to cuss. Like you heard me pivot.
Turn one
Yes, I'm-
stone rain. All of it. Anyway.
You gave me the power.
Yeah, you gave.
Oh no. Yeah, it would encourage bad mulligans. Oh no.
That's true. Hard stacks, I don't think we need to go into this too deep. Stacks is just, it just slows the game down. Just makes the game, an already long game, longer. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
I will say that my thing with hard stacks, aside from it's a viable strategy, yes, but
Yeah.
it's incredibly unfun for the
Mm.
entire table. And we'll, as much as possible, we'd like to have even a gathering, right? Just remember, it's Magic the Gathering.
All right.
So we gotta get it's a
Ooh,
good
bringing
gathering
it
of
back.
friends.
Bringing it home.
Since it's a
Bars.
gathering of friends, like you wanna slow everybody's game down. You wanna prolong the night.
I want to
Sure,
linger.
prolong the night,
Bob.
but like
I
not
wanna
in a good
linger.
way.
Yeah. I spend such few times with my friends. Let us gather longer.
Yeah, I just want to make more eye contact with these men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fair enough. Fierce.
I used to run-
Sorry, go ahead.
I used
Yeah.
to run. I used to run like hard stacks. I don't know if you guys remember this game, but I used to run Silverclad Ferocidons in my Marath deck, which is secretly a dinosaur deck, and basically that would read as pay one, and each of my opponents sacrifices a permanent. I stopped
Oof.
running that. It also kind of ruins one of our favorite like storylines within a game where the fourth place player will just get obliterated by a stacks theme. So like if you're in fourth and then you're already being resource denied, I think that's huge too. But if you read the room, you could be playing that hard stacks from fourth place. Then maybe that would not be so bad. But for me, I know it made the board unanimously, but maybe hard stacks was like my fifth placer. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
not my second pick.
Like
But-
it has its places that
It has its
like,
charm.
it has its like it can be like it's intended if it's intended as a speed bump, sure.
Mm.
But like if you're just intending to lock, if you're deploying 3, 4, 5 at a time, that's when it becomes. Can we
Yeah.
not?
Because hard stacks is rarely symmetrical anyway.
Yes.
As even if they're written as
Yeah.
symmetrical, they don't really get played symmetrically.
True.
So, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fierce Guardianship. Any thoughts here, guys, before we move on from this? I just don't like
Blue
the
players
free
have
effect.
too much free stuff.
Yeah.
Blue players have it too good for too long. They've been countering my spells ever since.
Yeah. We've been playing Magic for a long time, Bob. You've been getting
Wow,
countered a
it's
long
trauma.
time.
Traumatized by a brother who's a blue player.
Who
Right.
was a blue player?
Oh yeah,
was.
you moved
Or
on.
probably still is.
I still like my control roots. But yeah, like Fierce for me just feels a bit too quote unquote easy. It feels too free. Like I actually don't mind force, force of will, force of negation. I mind those less because you still have to pitch a blue card. There's still a little bit of a cost. But Fierce is like, well, you were gonna play your commander anyway. Odds are. So it just comes out free, and it just does too much in the sense that you get to interact with the stack, unlike your Deadly Relics, your flawless maneuvers, stuff like this.
You're
Right,
obscuring
right.
haze.
Obscuring Haze.
Yeah, Obscuring Haze is a good card.
I know. I love that
But
card.
yeah, there are a few free spells that we're okay with getting away with. Like deflecting SWAT, for example, or
Mm.
I still mainboard Submerge. I do get away with that. The 5 to cast return. Put target creature on top of someone's library, which is crippling.
I have thoughts on deflecting SWAT later. But okay, let's move on to the other pick, Ristic
Ooh.
Study. All of us voted that we don't like playing this card in our decks. Just slows the
Yeah, I
game
do not.
down.
Slows the game down. Blue players have it too good for too long.
And we used to
And
cry when we get this in the booster pack. But look
I
at it now.
know, in Prophecy.
Look at it now. Look at it now. Oh my god.
Yeah, for
And
sure. I have mine from the Prophecy days. Wow, we've been playing Magic for a long time.
yeah.
Do you know when
yeah.
Invasion came out? Do you know the year?
2000.
Yeah,
The year
that was
2000.
23 years
That's my,
ago.
that's my first Precon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. He
Oh no,
got the
second Precon already. Yeah, yeah.
second. Yeah, you got he got the 5-color Sabertooth Neshoba precon, while I got the
Shout out
blue
to
black
Sabertooth
Firection.
Neshoba.
I got the blue black Firection Infiltrator, which
Right.
just swaps control. It's like, what the heck are we gonna do? How is this gonna win?
Right. Precons were different then. Yeah, I think safe to say
Precons are-
in this podcast we have over 60 years of experience.
Oh my god.
Right, collectively,
A senior
easy.
citizen of Magic.
Yeah,
As a
easy. 60 years of experience, easy. So we've done
Wow.
limited, we've done 60 card formats,
my
we've
God.
done tournaments, and here we are playing the janky commander now.
Mhm.
I think
But
I think
yeah,
we're
Ristic
done.
Study, I have slotted out in my builds. It makes the game too slow, puts you way ahead, and expects a lot of players, like a lot of buy-in. Like now, everyone has to agree to not has to everyone has to agree to pay the one, or that bridge just like snaps. Where
I
like the
know.
first person who doesn't pay,
And
Yeah, yeah.
someone just gets salty because it's like they want to quote
yeah,
unquote play the right way. The others are just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
eh.
yeah,
And someone's
Mhm.
just like, you guys suck. you know,
yeah.
it just makes it just makes for unfun environments.
No, it's a gathering. Let's not call each other sucky.
Yeah. All right, last card on our list, Cathar's Crusade. What are your guys' thoughts on this? How come this got voted out of your lists?
As the mono white identity player here, I feel like it's important for me to say this is a house.
Hmm.
A very easy house to build, unfortunately, because Cathar's Crusade just goes. It
Mm.
goes insane. It goes so insanely well. It's hard to keep track of, and each individual thing goes up by one. So that's you start to run out of dice with the amount of
Yeah.
creatures you're running. So it becomes a headache to track the. Oh wait, this guy gets one counter, so he now has 6 versus this guy came in maybe 2 creatures ago, so he only gets 2. And
Yeah.
keeping track of each individual on
It's
your board alone.
it's the
And then,
bookkeeping.
yeah, it's
High
a little bit
bookkeeping.
too much on the brain cells. There's only so much that can go around,
much
for the
bookkeeping.
Magic games.
Takes
Yeah.
away from the eye contact with your friends.
Yeah. I mean I used to run this as a finisher too. But then especially when like tokens come in and
Right.
I just
I
hate
guess I've
having to
won
look for
with
more
it.
dice.
Yeah.
I've won with it too many times.
Mm,
I guess also goes infinite with the ham sandwich, so
mm. Yeah. All right.
that's why it's sitting in my binder.
So same sitting in my binder. So those are our unanimous picks. Those are our top 5 picks of cards that we have self-imposed on ourselves to not play, even if they do fit in the theme or whatever synergy we're running. However, let's get into some of the more spicier takes. These are some of the cards that we might have agreed on, just 2 out of the 3 of us, or some cards that we just think ourselves we don't, just us, we don't like them, but maybe the others are okay running. And so let's get into these cards. And the first one I want to highlight is these cheap tutors that Bob and I both do not like. But you know what? DY seems to be fine with you. What's up? What's up with you, Bob? Like, why don't you like these cheap tutors in your deck?
Uh, I personally don't like it because like I don't want to get the answer from the way the deck is built. Like I don't want to search for the one. I know if I know that one thing will get me out of this, it's gonna be this, and I look for it immediately. Like the way I play, I'd rather, oh, what do I like? What do I have on board, and what do I have ongoing with the game plan? Like I don't want to. I don't want as much as possible. I don't want to have to look for that one thing.
Because
Like
I mean,
solve
it is
everything.
a singleton format, so
Yeah.
you're kind of embracing the variance there of the
Yeah,
format.
I embrace the variance a lot more rather than hoping. I'd rather hope for the best rather than you know what I have the answer. The
Yeah,
ultimate answer is like just
yeah,
one mana and two life, right? For
yeah,
vampiric or for Imperial Seal, right?
yeah. I think same thoughts, and like I play black a lot, so I've been tutoring for these past 2 decades. Um, I've gone to school with these demonic tutors. Yeah, it's just it's so consistent, and I think that's kind of like what I don't even want all that much in my commander games. I want to be able to try to draw into an answer, see what my deck can try to figure out, or try to make the most of whatever it is that I have. It's not the most optimal. I understand that tutors are very like powerful, but I don't know. I've just stopped playing them over the years. But DY, how come for you it's fine?
I don't know, it's pretty cool because like we're saying the same things but have like a different outcome. Like I also build with variance in mind, so that's the reason why I keep my tutor in. I don't have a high number of tutors, but I do pick out. I do tutor for scenarios. I don't tutor for win cons. I tutor for
Mm.
scenarios. And it has been an embarrassingly high rate of tutoring for basic lands. You know what I mean? It happens, man. You gotta
Oh
tutor for
God.
that. You gotta tutor for that fifth land so my Temple of the False God turns on, you know?
That $40 cultivate.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Disclaimer, I have never purchased a tutor on my own. They have always come via trade or
Boosters.
booster luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
That's how
randomly
you.
opened in a dual deck from back in the
Mm-hmm.
day.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's one of like that's the story of Will J's demonic tutor, like the best trade in Magic history between our friendship. Demonic tutor for Sylvan Library, just straight
Yeah.
up.
Straight up. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the
Okay.
next one. Because here the brothers
Ooh.
agree. We're talking about MLD, Armageddon, Obliterate, even Fall of Thran. You guys don't like it. For me, it's okay. But I'm curious to hear why you guys. What's wrong with MLD, man? I'm curious.
What happened to you, Bob?
Yeah, what happened?
Oh,
Who hurt you, Bob? What's up with
oh,
MLD?
let's see. Okay, for one instance, there was at least one. I can remember at least one game where somebody just decided to play Obliterate for no apparent reason. He just wanted to pay 8 and blow up the board for just for the heck of it. He just
Mm,
wanted to cast his big flashy spell. So it's like, yeah, kudos. But like, that means I have nothing left.
Yeah, I mean,
It's very difficult to come back from zero
well, yeah.
I
lands.
don't know. Yeah, some play groups are unpredictable, and like you might be playing with some Joker type individuals who just want to see the world burn.
Right, right.
Like
Fair
if your
enough.
MLD has a good plan, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, if it's like a as a means to like I can accept singular land destruction because you got to remove the
Oh, for
utility
sure.
lands.
for sure you
However,
gotta.
if all you're gonna do is just blow up the lands just because you can, and it's like as a means to like leverage your
And
advantages, like how you
or
build your
dirtle
deck,
me to death.
or durdle to death.
You don't
Like
like that Conjurer's Closet Mull Drifter loop?
it's a very tap out way. It's like if I can't, it's like you're circling it back to the gathering. If I can't play,
Right.
and if you can't play, then what's the point?
Yeah, are you gonna gum me to death with that Mull Drifter?
No, but see, like for me, MLD, at least for me, like I haven't banned myself from using MLD just because I feel like it is one way. Let's say I wasn't playing blue. It's one way for me to try to preemptively affect the stack. Because I'm trying to stop you from, let's say, wiping my board. And I normally can't interact once the spell is out there. So I try to just stop the spell from getting out there. But I'll only do it, again, once I have like a winning board state. Like my Elish Norn is out or something like this. And it's like, I am now grounding and pounding. And I'm just literally scared that you'll top deck a wipe. And I have no answers. Maybe that's why for me it's like MLD in general is okay. Because
as long as as long as you've got at least 2 Mull Drifters
at least 2 of them
to take me out.
Yeah, at least have a
To
context.
send me
for
to
it.
pasture.
Yeah, have some context for it and not just
yeah
I just wanted to play it.
yeah because otherwise
it would happen.
it's a card that you would just like loot away. Like if you had it in the early game, that's getting pitched to faithless looting or something. You know. All right, let's move on. A card now that rather an archetype even that Bob and I agree on, which is these combo only cards. Cards that don't really exist in the deck because they just provide value, but because they're just meant to combo out. So these are cards like Thoracle, cards like Doomsday, even Labman, or the infamous Sanguine Bond Exquisite Blood combination. Like they're there specifically to run the combo. But they're not really there to do anything else in the deck. I'll go first on this one. And the reason I don't like these is because I know there are alternate win cons, but the flavor of these combo-only cards is it just feels like it's out of nowhere. You could have built any deck, and you just chose to put it in your deck. So it's almost like I already put Soul Ring in that slot of like, there's no reason I put Soul Ring in other than just because it's Soul Ring. So now I have to add like these other cards just because they do so well. Like Demonic Thoracle. Okay. I put them in just because I'm Demir. But I don't know. I don't run them because it doesn't speak to me as a deck builder, as a brewer. And I don't necessarily find joy. Even if I win, I don't necessarily find joy in the win if I was able to win a game like that.
Yeah, it homogenizes your picks. I agree on that. Like, yeah, like why else should I? I should just get the best cards. Which is why CEDH exists, where those are the top cards, among other things.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of it if it's like just included as just the thrown in, like, oh, I'm in these colors, I might as well.
Yeah, the might as well.
I'm already here. Like, I'm gaining so much life. Oh, Sanguine Bond, sure. Oh, I also have Exquisite Blood. Oh, why not?
Yeah.
But I don't like how it's a lot of these are non-intuitive kinds of ways to win. It's dropped from hand in any order, and then it kind of feels like, oh, that's it. You just win.
Yeah.
So
but you're okay.
Kind of a feel bad.
You're okay with these effects. What's going through your head when you say you're okay?
I'm
with
okay
these?
with them as safety valves. In my play groups here, I've seen them used as getting us out of board states where we're all posturing for the win. But if you have this secret, Fast and the Furious reference, if you have this secret NOS in your deck, I am totally okay with it. Because if you're going to break through the stalemate, it's kind of like with our limited brains where you have just these 2 giant boards and no one's going to be able to get through. I'm okay with them as safety valves. Usually when they're also on curve with like how a game goes, anything later than turn 8, turn 7 is free game. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, let me just caveat by saying like I don't mind combos. To be honest, I run a few combos myself, but I just really want it to be related to the deck that I'm running. And cards, let's say like Doomsday, or Thoracle. There is no deck really that where you set out the unless you set out the Thoracle. But I mean, like, there's no like Merfolk deck that just happens to.
Yes, I'm okay with that. I understand that, but it comes at a price. Like if you run this safety valve, then you just as a builder you get painted with like this guy. We gotta kill him before generate this guy.
Yeah. Look at
You
the
get a
sweat
threat.
guy.
Primary
You get
threat is
what do you call
found.
that? You get a recency bias if you pull out like one, but at a price. in the play group.
Yeah.
And then this happened to my friend recently, my Kiki Jiki playing friend. Oh
Mm.
man, um he started trying to build for the joy. I think he ran like this mono white vehicle deck, and it
Uh-huh.
was honest to goodness fun to play against. No combos, but man, we just stomped him. It's like for a break. Something Kiki's somewhere there in mono white. He's there.
Yeah, that Kiki Jiki somewhere in there. He did it. I don't know how he did it. Painter servant. I don't know.
He did it. He did it somehow. It's there.
Yeah.
Tell me, Kiki
Price
Jiki.
of- It just
Yeah.
comes with the price with recency bias, but I have nothing like so.
Yeah.
That's why it balance out for me. Like
Mm.
in a steady play group, combo only cards, they just even out.
Fair. I mean, I see what you mean. I wouldn't do it, but again, I have no problem with other people in pods dropping their combos. I think combo
Not
is
at
a
all.
is a fair win con anyway. So I mean, and because they have to set up. But like me, I personally wouldn't really find the joy in that. That's why it's on my ban list. I guess same for you, Bob.
Yeah, for me, as long as it depends on the context. Like if they're pulling it out ASAP, that's when I'm a bit no thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, you
But,
like,
like,
would
if
you
they're-
slot it in your decks?
Yeah, and
I wouldn't.
I think I would.
I still wouldn't.
If I had
Because-
someone on brand, I would slot in a combo.
Yeah, I mean, I run combo decks too, but they have to be like, well, it's because I'm literally playing this style of commander. Like, if I was playing Kikijiki as my commander, you best believe I'm going for the combo win, right? Or if I'm playing goblins, like, the Kikijiki stuff for me makes sense, actually, because you are on goblins. But if I'm playing, like, mono red, I don't know, shrines, I don't know if that exists. Like you know.
I run an infinite in my slivers,
Yeah.
so I am not.
Yeah, in my typo,
blessed.
in my one combo win has been through a typo deck. My
Yeah.
typo allies where I went infinite. That's
Yeah.
the only time I ever won with a combo,
Yeah.
and
And I would do it.
just so happened to be in because they all fit within the theme
With the allies.
with the allies. I didn't set aside pieces to be like,
Yeah.
oh, but they aligned perfectly to do exactly what they needed to do.
Exactly. All right. So those were the ones where we had partially agreed on some of them. But let's move on now to the last category, which is individual ban lists that only one person was talking about and the other two were like, what are you talking about, man? And
Who
so-
hurt you? Who hurt you?
Yeah, who hurt you? Why is this on your ban list for you? I don't know. All right, so let's get into some of these spicy picks. And let's start with you, TY. Let's start with your list. So we have a list here, and we can go them one by one, but I'll read them all out right now. Consecrated Sphinx, Smothering Tides, Seedborn Muse, and Vesuvan Diplomacy. What's going through your mind here, TY? What's wrong with Consecrated Sphinx? I run this card.
It's the game asymmetry. I think a lot of my I think the top three that I had do wreck the game symmetry. Consecrated Sphinx, 2 for everyone. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. It's too good. At least it's removable. Smothering Tide, I lumped him in with Heuristic Study. Asking people to pay all the time, just like
Do you pay the two?
makes the game so
You pay the two.
asymmetric. And don't get me wrong, I love me some mid-game fast mana. I'm a huge fan of Tran Dynamo and all the reprints it's getting. Gilded Lotus, I'm part of that fan club as well.
Throne of Eldraine, that's the new one. Makes 4
Ooh,
mana.
the new hotness, yeah.
That's good. And so yeah, and then Seedborn Muse. I do Magic's getting crazy. Like the things that double things I'm cool with, but when things start tripling, so that's triple untap step, I think that's pretty crazy. And Vesuvan Duplimancy, I think, falls into the Cathar's Crusade category where the bookkeeping is insane when you're making copies of copies. It
Right.
just gets out of way too fast. So that's my what are we calling this? Our bubble
Yeah,
self
Yeah.
your individual ban list for you.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from with Smothering Tide slowing down the game. Maybe like
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I actually thought about putting Smothering Tithe on mine as well, but I actually run it, especially when it's like a token deck or something that can like an artifact deck. because I could make use of these
Oh, hell yeah.
treasures, win with Marionette
yeah.
Master, something like this.
Oh, yeah, on
Uh,
brand.
Yeah, so that's why I haven't banned it for me, because I do sometimes run it, but it is. Do you pay the two? Do you pay the two?
With that new displaced dinosaurs, man. Do you pay the 2 or do I get a 7/7
Oh,
dinosaur
yeah.
in your face?
that's
Shout out
sick.
Doctor Who.
Shout out to
God.
Doctor Who. Yeah, like cause I was playing someone recently, and they had Smothering Tithe, and what I just said was, unless anyone here is gonna say they're gonna pay the two, just make a treasure, cause no one pays the two. So it's like if I draw, just
No
make the
responsible
treasure.
players.
Yeah, it's up to you now if you can keep track of your treasures. I don't care, but just make the
Mm.
treasure.
Or it should be like what do you call it? It's like a homeowners association letter. For all you who own a soul ring, please dedicate mana towards the
Dedicate this soul ring.
Smothering Tithe.
We allow you to
Thank
play
you.
this soul ring, but you have to use it for Smothering Tithe.
You just start being passive aggressive to your playgroup. Like, hey, I see that soul ring you've got over there. This guy's getting too much treasure. Can you please
Yeah.
chip in?
Seedborn is a problem though. Just to switch gears, like
Yeah,
whenever
it
someone has played
is.
Seedborn, I've always found that they immediately became arch enemy no matter what.
I'm surprised it's still up, considering Prophet of Krufix is on the ban list.
I guess the flash
A bit,
Krufix,
Ben,
the prophet gave flash as well.
yeah.
But I see what
and
you
I
mean.
think it's because of I think it's the double green restriction on Seedborn, which makes it
Mm,
kind of restrictive
Not
versus
universally banned.
not universally used. And yeah, I agree with the Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, like I would not run it as well. However, it's easily removable. That's why I was like, I guess if I see it, if I
Yeah.
have it, fine. It's all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I see.
yeah. And I've never played with the Diplomancy, so I'll take your word for that. That it's like Cathar's Crusade. Maybe.
It's like having your own photocopier. Like, wow. You're like making your own proxies. Like, ooh, this is what it would be like.
This is what it's like. If I was cardkingdom.com,
If I shout out
Not
to
a
Card
shout out to Card Kingdom, not a sponsor.
not a sponsor, but we do use their
and
services.
get your orders in. Get your orders in before inflation kicks in.
Oh yeah, before those play boosters come out.
Oh, look.
That inflation. But yeah, I'll take your word for that. I've actually never played with it. It seems like a lot of bookkeeping as well.
All right. Who's got the next list?
All right. Bob, you wanna talk us through your list? So we have here just 2 cards: Death to the Deathless, Death rather to the Deathless, and Urza's Saga. Wow, I would never have. Okay, go. What was going through your
Actually,
head?
I thought of a third one as well.
Go. What's up? We'll update the graphic
Dockside.
right now. Oh
Dockside.
snap!
I would.
Oh, how did we not?
How did we not remember Docs? Okay, put that
I
in the
would not-
unanimous.
That's a unanimous.
That's a unanimous one for me. I don't play
Like,
Dockside.
While we were talking about it, yeah, especially with all the keeping track of treasures, like we have a hard time already with the Smothering Tithe, but you can judo flip it with using Dockside so that you're the one who also has the treasures. But
Right.
personally, it's like
Outside.
it's a good. Don't get me wrong, it's a very good card, but it just attracts way too much heat, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's a very abusable. That
He falls under cheap fast mana. Come on.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess
He
for
falls
me,
under.
what I hate also about Dockside is once you pop the Docks, or like once you start playing Dockside and let's say you loop it once or twice, the win becomes all about the Dockside. Like, you won because of Dockside. Not your
Yeah,
like
because-
janky ass combo with allies. It was because you landed Dockside. Kind of takes away from my flex. if I won, so I don't know. Maybe I think that's why I wouldn't run it. It just it gives me the feels bad even as a winner.
We
Yeah,
could have that as
yeah.
a game mod. Like either everyone has mana crypt or everyone has a generic mana Dockside in the command zone.
in the
Oh,
command
shit.
zone. One-time use.
One-time use.
One-time
Dock-
use dies on exile. Exiles when it dies. Sorry.
Exiles and dies. That's pretty cool.
Like,
Yeah.
That way, it's strictly a one-trick pony. That way, it's not. That way, the reanimators can't just keep throwing it away.
The
Like, you
blinkers
gotta
can't
think about. You
blink.
gotta think of. Yeah, you can't blink it. Yeah,
That could be our. That could be our. What do you call this? Our product. You know.
Our Janktown variant.
Janktown
Yeah,
variant.
just like a Janktown Infinity Gauntlet
Yeah.
side show. Like it's a pod, like roll a dice and okay, everyone has dockside for this game, or
Ooh.
everyone
It's
has
like a
mana
plane
crypt for
chase
this
game.
game. Plane chase,
Yeah, it's like a
yeah.
plane
A plane
chase.
chase variant.
Wow.
Anyway, so going back to my
Yeah. The death and the
personal,
saga.
yeah, that is because I have won way too many games with it, and it feels like playing it again now, as janky as it is now, it's like it's collected way too many win shares. Like I'm happy retiring it to the Hall of Fame with how many times I've tapped
Hall of
out
Fame.
and drained the entire table for
Right.
no, not exactly, for insane amounts of life. And it's like, because it's twice X, and it's like, ooh,
Right.
ooh, it's so much life. As much as it would be fun to, like, break in case of emergency, I
Right.
think I'm good having like this happy memory of it already, rather than
Oh,
Right. Aw.
rather than being sad, like, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, it's been countered by a fierce guardianship.
hey man, wasn't me. I don't know one. Who you
Yeah,
playing
I don't run fierce. I run force. So,
Shout out to Fort Liu.
yeah. I see
And
what you
yeah,
mean. What about
and
Urza Saga?
Urza's
Yeah.
Saga, well, aside from it being insanely expensive, and
Mm.
I'd rather trade it away for something else, for a bunch of value cards. For me, it's a very specific. It's similar to a shooter, right?
Okay.
Even though it goes through the three phases, it's a
Yeah.
land first, then you create you
Constructs.
create the constructs, and then you tutor out. My problem is it's a very narrow tutor. It's hyper specific. You're always getting, if for
Mm.
some reason you have a Mox, you're getting that, like a Mox Amber or a
Right.
Mox Tantalite, etc.
Your
Any of
soul
the zero
ring.
cost, or you're gonna get your Soul Ring
Yeah.
immediately. Like,
Hmm.
you're already giving that, you already have that one card for the Soul Ring, so it decreases your deck building to 98 cards,
Right.
97.
So while I don't own an Urza Saga myself, I can see myself running it though. Just because I mean it's like Soul Ring Suspend 2, I guess if I draw it. Not the worst
Mm.
for me. Maybe yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as down on it as you are.
Self-imposed bandit.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is a self-imposed ban
it's
list.
self-imposed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see why you don't like it. Yeah. Would you run it,
And that, and
DY?
I
I've
think
seen
I
it run
would.
as well.
Sorry, what was that, Bob?
I've seen it run as well as a uh actually, when it was run as a mistake because they forgot they had Solemnity on board, so it
Solemnity.
Ugh. That's
Man,
like
that card must be so good these days.
that's like a half stack
uh,
space.
it
Half hard stack.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they know what they're doing when they had that Solemnity out. But yeah, they forgot about the interaction with Urza Saga, so it immediately blinked. It
This is
immediately, like,
this is
straight.
definitely a who hurt you self ban. Who forgot that trigger?
Who forgot that trigger? But would you run Saga or Urza Saga, TY?
I think I would. I like that analogy that you had. That it's just Soul Ring suspend with additional value, right? What's that card? There was a suspend Soul Ring that just sees no love,
Soul
Soul
Talisman.
Talisman.
right? That one, Soul Talisman,
Yeah.
sees no love.
No love.
It's that. It's an empty versus Saga. So I think I would. I have never been blessed. I have never been blessed by booster luck with that.
Same. Bob, you sold yours, right?
Yes,
Don't
I
do
did.
boosters. Don't do boosters. Don't do drugs, kid.
Yes. We,
It-
we,
it-
we, we've been addicted for like 20 plus years. This is 60 years of
Yeah.
addiction right here.
Don't be greedy. Follow Prof. Singles.
Singles,
Singles the way to go. That is true. Although, I just pre-ordered the Lord of the Rings bundles for the holidays. Yeah, so there goes that advice.
Just after, yeah, right after the PSA.
Yeah, right after the PSA.
Mm.
Don't do it, kids. That's right. that's that's what the PSA guy is doing. Don't do it, kids.
And we got canceled.
And we got canceled. Tyrone Biggums. Shouts out to Dave Chappelle. Okay. All right, for my individual self-imposed ban list, I have here 3 cards. Deflecting SWAT, which I know you guys mentioned earlier. So for me, I don't like running Deflecting SWAT. Vilis, Broker of
Interesting.
Blood, and Torment of Hailfire. So Torment for me is a really powerful card, and I used to use it all the time as a finisher, especially when when you're just looking for like, how do I close this game out, or when you're building your deck, how do I even close games out, and you just stick a Torment in there. I don't know. It was quote unquote too easy, and it's usually pretty consistent. Like if you draw it, especially mid to late, you're probably winning, just because you just have to wait until you play it. So again, much like Bob's debt to the death list, I guess I've just like won too many times with it. And again, it's just like I just want to do something else, so that's why I don't run it anymore. I have a lot of it now in my binder. I think I have like 6 of them just sitting around in my binder.
Why do you have 6?
I don't know, man. I had a lot of black decks, and they all ran it.
It just matches with my Bolas t-shirt, my Bolas pants, my Bolas underwear.
Yeah, it's part of that. Vilis, kind of similar in that it's just too good for what it does. Maybe same sentiment as Consecrated Sphinx. This is my Consecrated Sphinx. I think Vilis just gets out of control super fast. And it's never played fairly. I've never played it fairly. It's always reanimation target.
Out, reanimated.
Yeah. Actually, when you play reanimate, because it's 8 mana value, so you lose 8 life when you play reanimate. You actually draw 8.
You
from
draw
Vilis.
8 cards. Yep.
So it's a 1 mana value, get an 8/8 demon, draw 8. That's how that rule interaction goes. How messed up is that?
That's how
Let me
it
just
does.
sign into Card Kingdom right now. Shout out to Card Kingdom.
That's at the card kingdom.
I am today years old when I just found out that reanimate. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Have an 8 flyer
From
and
Seattle to the world
one
since
Are you kidding?
1997. CardKingdom.com.
Yeah. It's too much. So I don't know. I've kind of cut it. It's just too much value, and I kind of feel dirty playing it. So, again, I have a playset of Vilis. I'll send you one, TY, so you can use it for your reanimation decks. Shut up. I'll send you one.
Yeah, don't order it anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Just order
Card
from
Kingdom, I'm still
Janktown.
ordering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, order.
Order from Janktown. We give away cards for free. Just ask for it.
Our binder's full of good stuff we don't use. 'Cause we
Yeah.
have weird principles.
Yeah, we have weird principles. You want a heuristic study? Just leave us a comment down below. We'll send you these common pulls from our prophecy days when you were still stupid
just
enough
look
to
for
buy
us.
boosters. Yeah,
When we were but wee lads.
yeah, buying boosters, saving up our lunch money for that.
Man, got us hooked.
Setting aside our allowance for like
I
that
know.
one booster pack.
I know.
Maybe
And finally, for
this
me,
time.
deflecting SWAT. So I know you guys were okay with it. I kind of put it in the same bucket as Fierce. It's just free stack interaction. I'm not a fan of this one particularly because it does feel almost like a counter spell. I know it's more situational, but it
I like
still
that
has the
it's
same.
out of-
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that it's out of identity, like in red.
Hmm.
I feel like this files under a who hurt you, who deflecting swatted your game saving play, or
My game saving play, my
Yeah, I
game
feel
saving
like-
targeted removal,
yeah.
No.
I feel like
my vendetta.
I
Vendetta.
wanted to lose that life.
Oh God. I don't know. It just feels. Again, like I'm okay with obscuring haze. I'm okay getting blown out by like a free fog. But the deflecting SWAT just feels like maybe again because it's a color shift, a slight color shift. This is why I'm also like
A little bit, you
I
expect
like
it from
Bob's.
blue.
I like Bob's Ursus Saga. Because it's like it was a who hurt you story. Like
right.
I put this in my decks because I don't want to mess it up, and it's too good.
Right, right. You know what? No. Okay, maybe this is what I hate about it. And we're getting into the who hurt you territory. Because when you're not playing blue and you're tapped out, your things are expected to die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a black player, I'm a control player. I do bide my time. Like I play responsibly as a control player. And it's like, you're in red. What are you doing? Like, why? You're tapped out. You know.
Chaos,
I am so
baby.
sure someone chaos, baby.
You don't even have treasure available, you know. You're done. You're done, homie. This vendetta that kills non-black creatures, finally, it's doing its work. The Lord's work. Yeah. So I don't know. If it was blue, I would take my L's. Like, yeah, you had a force of negation. Sure. You know what? That's my fault. I should have seen that you had
Should have played
another.
around it.
Yeah, I should have seen that you had another card in hand. Of course, it could have been a pitch. With red, it's like, get out of here, man. Yeah, but yeah, your guys' thoughts on deflecting SWAT? Because I don't know, Bob, do you play this?
I would be willing to play it, considering I have so many. Red is like my if I had another mono identity, I would totally play it.
Mm.
And for me, I don't mind changing targets because it's a saving throw, essentially. So I don't
Fair.
mind it at all.
Shout out D&D.
Shouts
Shout
at
out
the
to
end.
D&D. And
Alright.
yeah, because it's a very effective saving throw, either as save the board or save your piece.
Right.
And it's a really useful, and like, as you've clearly demonstrated, what are you doing, red player? You're not supposed to have this.
Right. I mean, yeah. Again, if someone brings it to the board, fair play. But like, I wouldn't run it because
Run it for yourself.
yeah, I don't think then that I'd be living like the red way. I'd feel like I was a white player. You know, I might as well just been playing like Esper or something because it's like, you should have seen it coming. You know.
But yeah, this podcast episode might age badly because of power creep. Because I hope maybe in the future, like, there's not too many zero spells.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's just my 5 cents at the end. But
I think
Red Identity has been getting
when they stop.
Red Identity has been getting more counters because now
Mm.
it's if I think in my Shadowfax now, which is like my new favorite deck. Shout
Yeah.
out to Boros.
Oh.
But what's this? It already has a T-Bolt's Trickery.
Right.
It has a Bolt Bend, and then now plus or minus a deflecting SWAT. Because I only
Yeah.
have one copy of that.
Right.
With these
Yeah.
messed up precons from back in the day.
Yeah, I think design-wise, they also decided that giving these kinds of free spells tied to having the commander out was not the best idea. So
Yeah, they
it's a
should.
good thing they only did one cycle. I don't know if they're gonna do more in the future, but
I hope.
even though
Kinda hope
though
not.
there's a
Yeah.
Modern Horizons 3 coming out late in the next calendar year.
Oh, look at this well-rounded podcast episode making future shout-outs.
I know. But yeah, I
know.
don't know. The free spells, you're right. They're kind of
Game
like
warping.
they give so much value for what they do, especially since they're tacked onto effects that like generally give a lot of value, like counter spell or negate the
Too good.
redirect. Even the white one is pretty good. The free
Flawless
indestructible,
maneuver. Free
flawless maneuver,
indestructibility.
also really
Too good.
good. Yeah, especially with your commander out, which is such a low cost. Like you're not.
Low bar.
It's such a low
Yeah,
bar
it's a very
to.
low bar.
But free spells, I don't know. Well, I can see why it's a problem, especially for other formats like if you're playing Fury or Grief. Although I don't know if those cards necessarily show up a lot in Commander. I think Grief is a sucker's game in Commander. You pitch two cards to make one player discard one card. No way.
That's just for Modern.
Just for Modern. Scam that. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. Those are our self-imposed ban lists. Again, cards that if someone comes to the table, they bring it, they're playing these cards, fine, all well and good. But we personally won't be bringing these cards if ever we catch you guys on a random spell table or on a random LGS encounter or something along those lines. We likely won't be bringing these cards to our decks, and now you know why. Any closing thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up?
Well, for me, I would say, yeah, that I'm fine playing with these, playing against these cards, but like I'll have to take serious consideration and get serious budgetary uh bonuses to be able to afford a lot of these cards. Even though we have, a long-standing experience, now we have not owned a lot of these cards for some time. So, gotta be smart about it.
I think this episode was like more reflective of like our building principles, I guess. Because a
Yeah.
lot of it is showing like what variants we like, what kind of game flow, game state we like.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my band list looks like. Like a game that is not that asymmetric and not too hard to follow. Like keeping the game, because Commander as a game is already growing like complexity wise.
Right. Cause you're right. Like, I mean, we brew a lot of decks all the time. Actually, yeah, we even make a lot of deck techs for this channel, which is all fun, well and good. But you can really see, I guess, the spirit of how we build. It is
And what it's like to play against us.
and what it's like to play against us as well. Because I mean, we do tend towards like more variance in our game plan. We like more interaction. We don't want to drag out the game too long, I guess. And we want to make sure that everybody, when they show up, hopefully has a good time. And usually, the definition of having a good time is seeing your deck do something, and actually, fight back. Fight back when you're getting punched to the ground.
Redemption arcs, betrayal,
Yeah,
eye contact,
eye contact, a real
Being able
gathering.
to play with your
a
gathering.
real
of
gathering,
Yeah.
sharing
real gathering
snackies,
of friends.
sharing some card-friendly snackies.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up for this episode. If you guys enjoy this, I hope you can leave a like, share, and subscribe. It super helps the channel out. Hopefully, we'll be able to do more podcast episodes in the future. I don't know. I kind of enjoy just hanging out with you guys, talking random stuff about Magic. We could probably, again, like think of a topic. I don't know what the next one will be. But if you guys, again, watching this or listening to this, wherever you are, have suggested topics or things you want to hear about, especially from this perspective. I mean, you see how, I guess, these Janktown boys play. Let us know in the comments. Stay inspired, friends, and we'll see you later.
Peace.